The next posture in the standing sequence is Parsvottanasana, or the pyramid pose. And this posture is the last posture in the standing sequence that everybody does no matter what series you're practicing. So after this posture, Parsvottanasana, then you would either begin primary, second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth series. So up until here, everybody, no matter what series you're practicing, you practice up to Parsvottanasana, or pyramid pose. So we start in Samasthitihi, like the other standing postures. Inhale, you step the right foot back, pivot around, face the back of the mat, and bring the hands into reverse prayer. Exhale, fold over the right leg for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, full rounds of breathing. Inhale, come up, pivot around to the front. That's all in the inhale. And then exhale, fold over the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, open to the side, release the hands. Exhale into Samasthitihi. Okay, so let's break that down bit by bit. First, with the arms, the arm position. So you bring the arms out to the side, internally rotate the arms to bring the hands into reverse prayer. And you can bring the fingertips together first at the lower part of the back, and you slide them up. And you can kind of like crawl them up, the pinky side of the hands crawling up. And you can keep the palms open while you do this, and getting the hands as close as you can in between the shoulder blades. And then you roll the shoulders back, bring the palms together, and lift the heart. And it's kind of nice. It feels a little bit like you're using the hands to lift the heart up and lift the upper back out of the lower back. Another trick to do this while you're moving into it, kind of feels like you shrug the shoulders forward, kind of shrug, 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 get them up. And then once you have them in place, then you roll the shoulders back, okay? This is really deep for the shoulders. Like there's even some times where my shoulders are tight and kind of cranky, and that doesn't feel good because then I start to get some pain in the wrist because the shoulders are tight, and then it starts to move that rotation into the wrist. So when that happens, I just bring the fists together. We're still bringing the shoulders into internal rotation, and just bring a gentle fist together like that. And same thing, roll the shoulders back and down, lift the heart. Another option you can do is just grab onto opposite forearms. So it's all accomplishing the same thing, internally rotating the shoulders and bringing the arms behind the back to help you get that little lift from the heart before we go into the forward folds. So now let's look at the forward folds. I'm going to do the left side. And first we'll take a look at our feet. It's a very similar stance as Trikonasana B. So you can look down and you can either have the heels in one line, which is a lot for the hips. It's going to cause the hips to need to rotate a lot to move into the posture as you fold over the left leg. So if you feel any like locking or tension or kind of holding back from the hips, then take that right foot or the back foot and move it out to the side a little bit so that the feet are on 2 parallel lines, or rather the heels are on 2 parallel lines. The front foot, the toes are pointing forward. The back foot, you're at 45 degrees. Some say, I've been told, to bring this foot all the way into 90 degrees, but that sometimes doesn't really feel so good on my knee. So I kind of like to bring it a little bit more in. So you can play around with that. The position of the feet, the position of the angle of that back foot, and just make sure you have movement ability in the pelvis where it doesn't feel locked. So we have the arms here, and we're inhaling to really like lift. So use the hands in the back between the shoulder blades to lift the heart up as you root down through the feet. So just like any of the other standing postures, we're rooting down, connecting into the earth, rooting through the 4 corners of each foot, micro bending the knees, relaxing the toes, using that downward moving energy to help lift the heart. And then as we exhale to fold forward, we're going to reach the heart forward to create length. And as we do that, we press into the front foot. We're pressing the foot down and forward, and that's going to start to move this front hip back. So sometimes I even like to bring my hand here, so we're kind of coming out of the hands behind your back, which is okay. It's just for a moment to emphasize a point. But you bring your hand into the front crease of the hip here and move it back. And then you feel that action, counteraction, and that helps to create this sense of length and space. So as the heart moves forward, this hip clips back, and then this hip rolls forward. So there's a lot of actions, counteractions happening. The heart is reaching forward, the foot is pressing down and forward, this left hip is clipping back, and this right hip is rolling forward and down. All that's happening, and that's bringing you into the posture. So you're here and you're folding down as far as you can go, as far as it feels comfortable on the hamstring. So you're here with the hands behind your back and you relax the neck. You can gaze towards the toes, but if that's straining the neck, gaze towards the shin. And you're squaring the shoulders over the front leg. So as you're folding forward, you're sort of moving into a little bit of a twist to bring the chest evenly over that front leg. So you're twisting a little bit to square over that front leg. And once you're at the bottom, you check in with the feet. We tend to forget about that back foot in this posture, so really make sure you're pressing that back foot back and down into the floor. So you're pressing through the outside edge of that back foot. And you want to evenly distribute the weight between the front and the right foot, because if you favor one foot or the other foot, that starts to bring the pelvis out of alignment. So press evenly down through both feet, draw the lower belly in, and fold evenly over the front foot. And that kind of gives you a sense of the pyramid. This is the pyramid posture, so it's like evenly pressing through both feet so that you can be in the center and stable through the pelvis, instead of kind of like leaning into one hip or the other. And then to come out of it, you press through the feet, draw the lower belly in, and lift the heart. So same as in the Parsvottanasana, you don't want to come up like that. You want to come up by pressing through the feet. That initiates the action of coming up, dropping the tailbone slightly, and keeping the heart open. Good. All right. And then when you're done, back into Samasthiti, and then you continue through whatever series you're working on.